Hey guys, it's your girl Pixie and I'm back with another video. If you guys are new to the channel, welcome to Pixie's World. If you guys are not new, welcome back. Today's video is going to be about The Devil Wears Prada. But before we get into the video, please like, please comment, please share, please subscribe, and please be sure to follow me on all my social media platforms. The Devil Wears Prada is a 2006 film starring Anne Hathaway, Meryl Streep, Stanley Tucci, and Emily Blunt. The Devil Wears Prada is about a young journalist who recently graduated, Andy, who is looking for a job in her field. The position that she is applying for isn't her dream job, but it's a stepping stone to get where she wants to be. Andy applies to be assistant to Miranda at the Runway magazine. Miranda is editor-in-chief at the company. Andy is naive about the fashion world, and she just wants to get a job that will look good on her resume. Miranda is the boss. People panic to get the office in order upon her arrival. She is a big deal. She puts fear in people without even having to say anything. The relaxed work environment turns into high stress when Miranda is around. Miranda sees early on that Andy has no knowledge on the fashion industry and doesn't know anything about it, but she hires her anyway, which surprises everyone because there's 1,000,001 girls out there pitching for the job, and throughout the movie, they don't let Andy forget. Andy has a boyfriend who is a line chef, and her friends all hate their job. They clown her but also commend her for being in the fashion field, as they all toast to jobs they hate but pay the bills.
Jobs that pay the rent.
The jobs that pay the rent.
Job that pay the rent.
Andy starts off as an errand boy. Miranda doesn't address Andy correctly, reminding her that she is irreplaceable. Everyone around Andy is super serious about their job and their climb to the top, while Andy is clueless and doesn't see the big deal. She doesn't know any fashion designer names. We get to a scene where Miranda and Andy are doing a fashion look, and Andy is laughing, not taking it seriously. Miranda gives her a hard lecture about how she thinks fashion is a joke and that it has nothing to do with her, but it's important whether she likes it or not. She lets Andy know, "You're laughing, but the very clothes on your back is what runs the world. And people care or don't care about how they look more than they realize," letting her know that what she chooses to wear is how she feels about herself. Andy doesn't like the job, but she wants to commit to it so she can get where she needs to be. Andy visits with her dad over the weekend. Her dad is worried about her career. Andy explains that there is a bigger picture and working for Miranda will open up a lot of doors for her. She understands the sacrifices and the benefits that come along with it. Her life gets interrupted as she tries to accommodate Miranda. The job is really catching up with Andy, and she really sees how demanding the job truly is. While at first she just thought that the job was a bunch of stuff. Miranda is dismissive to Andy because she doesn't really feel like she's doing her job. Andy is starting to complain, and Nigel tells her to quit, once again reminding her that there are a lot of people who would kill for the job. Nigel informs her that the fashion is hope for people, and if she's not serious about it, then she doesn't belong. He's basically telling her that she's crying and she's not even really trying. Poor you. Fun fact, the guy who plays Nigel, Stanley Tucci, is straight in real life, even though he's playing a gay guy in the film. Andy decides to boss up and gives her whole life a complete makeover. With Nigel's help, she does a 360 inside and out. We get a montage of Andy heading through New York to work as she goes through the office every day, looking more and more stunning as the days go by.
You try everything you can to escape the pain of life that you know. All else fails and you long to be something better than you are today. I know a place where you can get away. It's on the dance floor, and here's what it's for. So come on, let
point, she has really caught up with the vibe and her job and what's going on. She's now in the know. Miranda sees the change and is amused, but not too much. Andy starts showering her friends with gifts as the fashion industry has its perks. She now appreciates how important her job really is. As she is getting more serious about it, her boyfriend and friends mock her, even playing keep away with her phone while Miranda is trying to contact her. She now has the no-nonsense attitude that comes along with her role. Andy meets Christian Thompson, a writer she admired in her college days. Andy is learning that Miranda's opinion on everything is important and that people will change anything to accommodate her. As Andy gets promoted, she accidentally steps into Miranda's home life and sees behind closed doors that as glamorous as Miranda's life looks on the outside, it's not as great on the inside. Andy is thriving, but because Andy sees her for real, Miranda keeps putting her to the test, and she finally gets her respect when she delivers an impossible mission, the delivery of the unpublished manuscript Harry Potter books for Miranda's twin daughters. Andy gets Miranda's attention and she finally starts calling Andy by her name. Andy's job is causing her to neglect her relationship, and her boyfriend starts feeling hurt about it and sees that Andy is changing. Andy and Nigel are at a photo shoot talking about how their careers are interfering with their personal life, and Nigel jokes that when your life goes up in flames, that's when you get the promotion. It's a joke, but a very real and telling one. Miranda and Nigel are in a conference discussing the new look for a spring collection, and Miranda is disgusted as they suggested typical and predictable ideas, highlighting the importance of fashion and how it's about standing out in groundbreaking looks. Andy is growing. The layers of the fashion industry is starting to peel off as she's now experiencing the cutthroat shadiness of fashion. Andy is in a relationship, but Christian realizes before Andy does that her relationship will not work out because she's going to grow out of a lifestyle that doesn't align with her current status. Andy gets promoted to go to Paris, and she doesn't want to go because she knows Emily wants it bad. Miranda doesn't care. She knows Andy is better for the job. Andy sees she has to sacrifice and makes a decision for her career. In the beginning, we get a montage of Miranda throwing her things on Andy's desk. Now she's throwing them on Emily's desk, as now she silently demotes Emily, making Andy the first in command and leaving her to deliver the news about Paris. Emily, of course, isn't happy. Andy is stepping up. She loses her relationship with her boyfriend. Christian was banking on it and now starts putting in his bid. Andy meets Miranda in her hotel room. Miranda is going through an emotional breakdown as her personal life is unraveling. Her husband is divorcing her. She's extremely successful, but her personal life is in shambles. Miranda hides her trouble behind the glamour, but there's a whole side to Miranda that nobody sees. Andy is reflecting on her past self before she changes as she watches Miranda in pain. While in Paris, Andy hooks up with Christian. She sees that Christian is trying to dethrone Miranda as editor-in-chief. They are now at a ceremony. While Andy tries to tell Miranda the news, Miranda has some news of her own. Nigel is disappointed as he thought that he was going to have his moment. Meanwhile, Miranda was a step ahead of what was going on and did what she needed to do to keep her job, stepping over Nigel in the process. We see more and more the shady business that goes on. Miranda knows what's been going on for a while. Miranda manipulated her way into not getting tossed to the side. She has the contacts in the magazine and fashion world and would take her resources away if she was getting replaced. This seals the deal and she keeps her position. She knows her role and the people up top will follow her, so her position got reconsidered. Andy expresses disappointment that Miranda shaded Nigel, but Miranda reminds her that she did it to Emily. Andy is suggesting that she didn't have a choice, and Miranda informs her she always has a choice and she chose to get ahead in this life and the decision was necessary. Andy realizes this and tells Miranda that she doesn't want to be like her. Miranda thinks she's ridiculous and scoffs at her, reminding her that everybody wants to be like them. Andy is sitting there contemplating about their conversation. Andy gets out and watches Miranda as the paparazzi are eating her up. As Miranda is looking for Andy behind her, Andy walks off and sees that Miranda is calling and throws her phone into the fountain. Andy quits her job. Andy applies for a new job, and at the interview, they're asking her about her runway experience. Miranda sent over her recommendation and says that Andy was a disappointment, but they'd be crazy not to hire her. As Andy leaves the interview, she catches Miranda leaving out of the runway office. Andy gives Miranda a smile, and Miranda gives her a quick one. This means a lot since Miranda isn't the smiling type. Miranda is impressed with Andy and the choices that she has made. She respects Andy's decision to choose herself. The film ends with Andy getting the job that she wants in the end. My final thoughts. There are lessons and some key things to take away when reviewing this film. The film is about fashion, but the lessons can be applied to all around life in achieving your goals. Fashion was just the basis. Confidence. Miranda's attitude and confidence was highlighted. She was powerful and she knows her importance and believes she's irreplaceable. She exudes energy and speaks without having to be loud. She's a strong, confident woman who controls the world and the environment, at least the fashion world. She knows her worth and says so.
This are necessary. But what if this isn't what I want? I mean, what if I don't want to live the way you live?
Oh, don't be ridiculous, Andrea. Everybody wants this.
Confidence opened doors for you. Know your stuff. Andy made a transition and it was up for her. She changed internally and physically. We don't realize that the thing that holds us back is that we want to be a different person but still have the same patterns, habits, and routines. You literally have to break up with the old person you are and become unrecognizable. Most people think it's just about an appearance. Andy has no knowledge in the beginning, but you can't justify it. You chose the job, and yes, you took a risk, but since you're in this business, if you don't know, go find out. Ask for help. Know who the main influencers are in the company. Andy starts dressing the part along with gaining knowledge. Be able to adapt. Fashion matters. Fashion is important whether you like it or not. We all get up and wonder what we can wear to look good about ourselves.
No, and I've seen all this before.
Deskins is trying to reinvent the dropway, so
Where
actually
are all the other dresses?
we have some right here and then
And
Armani.
watch and listen.
And I think it can be very interesting
No.
with...
No, it's just baffling to me. Why is it so impossible to put together a decent run-through? You people have had hours and hours to prepare. It's just so confusing to me. Where are the advertisers?
we have some pieces from Banana Republic.
Well, we need more, don't we? Oh, this might be. What do you think?
Yeah. Well, you know me. Give me a full ballerina skirt and a hint of saloon, and I'm on board.
But do you think it's too much like...
Like a La Croix from July? I thought that, but no, not with the right accessories. It should work.
Where are the belts for this dress? Why is no one ready?
Here. It's a tough call. They're so different.
Something funny?
No.
No, nothing's, it's just that both those belts look exactly the same to me. I'm still learning about this stuff and,
This stuff? Oh, okay. I see. You think this has nothing to do with you. You go to your closet and you select, I don't know, that lumpy blue sweater, for instance, because you're trying to tell the world that you take yourself too seriously to care about what you put on your back. But what you don't know is that that sweater is not just blue. It's not turquoise. It's not lapis. It's actually cerulean. And you're also blithely unaware of the fact that in 2002, Oscar de la Renta did a collection of cerulean gowns. And then I think it was Yves Saint Laurent, wasn't it, who showed cerulean military jackets? I think we need a jacket here. And then cerulean quickly showed up in the collections of 8 different designers. And then it filtered down through the department stores and then trickled on down into some tragic casual corner where you no doubt fished it out of some clearance bin. However, that blue represents millions of dollars and countless jobs. And it's sort of comical how you think that you've made a choice that exempts you from the fashion industry when in fact you're wearing a sweater that was selected for you by the people in this room from a pile of stuff.
Fashion is cutthroat. Toxic work environment. The film displays the typical misogynistic standards of women in a high authoritative power, aka the bitch. Never just the boss. Refer back to my book review of Why Men Love Bitches. The industry is painted as glamorous, but it's more than just clothes. It's a $1 trillion industry and influence on the economy. The field is demanding and not as glamorous as you think. They think Andy is fat, while Emily starves herself and Miranda critiques. Your work character and images will be tarnished and judged if you work in the creative public. You have to be brave and thug it out. It's a dog-eat-dog world. Bribery and connections, shady business. Sacrifices are made to get where you want to be in life. Andy left the fashion field, but she put in the work and got to her main goal. Sometimes we miss it and think we have to stay miserable forever. Some jobs are just a season and pieces to a puzzle. You will be uncomfortable at times, but choose the uncomfortability that aligns with the goals. Andy did some questionable things to get where she wanted to be, but she realized that she wanted to be her own person. Pay attention to your conscience, making certain life decisions. Never compromise your integrity, because you'll have the job but not the peace. We've all seen a lot of stories about celebrities, and we all know all too well the price that people have made for fame that usually doesn't end the way we think it will. Choose wisely. Glamorous. I know we just said the fashion industry isn't as glamorous at all times, but does it have its moments? Fashion meetings, outfits, runways, celebs, and more. People think fashion is superficial. We don't admit it, but we send signals to the world. I care how I look, or look at me, I'm fabulous. Fashion is important. Like your job. We gotta stop accepting any job. Life isn't to be miserable. If you can't make the most of it, try to find other opportunities. Andy working a job despite her ambitions to work in a serious journalism gives her a dismissive attitude about fashion being real work. Andy dates a line cook and hangs out with people who hate their job. When they're at dinner, they toast to aspiring to be satisfied with jobs that pay the bills. In the end, she gets her dream job and is happier. So enjoy what you do. Passion makes difficulties seem insignificant and worthwhile. Sometimes we have a stepping stone to pay the bills, but as they say, do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. Be different and groundbreaking. If you don't stand out, you get overlooked. Miranda calls Andy Emily to let her know that everybody is replaceable. She doesn't call Andy her correct name until she begins to distinguish herself. Andy stood up to her with an exclusive Harry Potter manuscript. That's when Andy earned her respect. Andy was brave and bold. Respect. It's earned and never given. Miranda's meeting regarding the spring collection has her uptight and disgusted about the suggestion of spring flowers for, as they call in the fashion industry, cliche. It's a typical, normal, and expected. The scene capitalizes on the fact of what fashion is all about. Unexpected, bold, groundbreaking, against the norm, and causing a riot. In fashion, yes, you are supposed to fit in, know the culture and the rules, but also stand out with your own personal style and ideas. You have to be in the know but remix it. Your originality makes you groundbreaking. Accessories. Miranda in coats and bags. Alter your appearance and style and how you stand out. Her coats and her handbags add a touch to her wardrobe. It's lonely at the top. Miranda seems to have it all. Respect, fear, a well-paying job, luxury, and privileges. But she makes heavy sacrifices, literally blood, sweat, and tears. It's a harsh, backstabbing world in fashion. It makes you different, and that's why you're lonely. It's almost terrifying. I remember being a kid and thinking being lonely at the top meant because it's not many people that's successful. But really, you just can't trust people. Your job is always at risk, and people will try to take your spot any chance they can get. Unfortunately, you have to isolate yourself for being a different person. You just have to. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. There's constantly a target on your back. She's getting portrayed in the media as a workaholic. In the film, Christian is basically trying to get rid of Miranda. Miranda looks like the villain, but she has to be, else she's the one who gets replaced. As I said, it's a shady business. And I'm not saying that she's right or wrong, but you become a different person and you get a demeanor often painted as negative. And you have to become a truly different person also to protect yourself. There's no time for personal life. Miranda's marriage is falling apart, and Christian Thompson attempts to cut Miranda off. It's lonely at the top, but success is something that everybody wants. Know when to leave. Andy knows it's time to go when she sees and realizes she's losing herself and begins to resemble Miranda. She throws her phone in the fountain in Paris. Know when it's time. Get a job, but don't lose you. Have values, integrity, and know when to walk. Health and peace first. As you guys know, at the end of my videos, I always say to pray to God and protect your peace. So if you know, you know. And don't ever choose anything over it. There's always other opportunities. Please pray to God, please protect your peace, and I'll see y'all in the next video.
That little table that I liked at that store on Madison. Get us a reservation for dinner tonight at that place that got the good review last week. Thank you notes delivered today. Both of them.